Hi everybody, my name is Rupa, working as assistant professor in Cherbrol Engineering College. So today we are giving the machines EM2, and today's topic in that machine is capacitor start run induction motors. Sorry, capacitor start induction run motors. So there is a lot of between the capacitor start induction run motor and capacitor start run induction motors. So we will see further. If you discuss the further details, you will know what about the difference. So see here. For making the single phase induction motor a self start, we are using two types of schemes. First one is a single phase motor is done a two phase motor. So this is called as split phase machine, and second one is capacitor start induction run motors. Okay, so these motors, if you see the circuit diagram and winding and the phasor angles, you will know about. So it is having, these motors are having two types of windings. So any motor, for rotation of the rotor, we need two windings. So actually we have only one winding in the supply, and we are taking auxiliary winding. We are adding extra winding, that is called as auxiliary winding or starting winding. Because at the time of starting only it is present. That's why we can call also it as starting winding. Okay, so the necessary phase difference is, our main aim is what? We have to take two windings, and in between the two windings you have to provide the necessary phase difference. So if you provide the necessary phase difference only, what happens? The rotor will be rotating, because the necessary phase difference, the phase difference between the two windings gives resultant flux. Okay, from that resultant flux we are getting So from that resultant flux will be cutting the rotor, and we will get the necessary torque required for running the rotor. Right? So the main aim is to take two windings, and in between the two windings you have to have some phase difference. Okay, so the phase difference between the IS means starting winding current, IM is main winding current. So the phase difference between the IS and IM, it is produced by connecting a capacitor in series with the starting winding. Okay, so here a capacitor is connected in series to the starting winding, because capacitor means what? It is having leading voltage or leading current to the reference vector. Suppose if you take resistor, there will be in phase, voltage and current will be in phase. If you take the inductance, current will be always lagging with voltage. If you take the capacitor, current will be always leading the voltage. Okay, so in reference to the voltage, I am taking the current vector. So for the current vector, if you put a capacitor, the current vector will be more leading to V, right? So actually the main winding is of inductive nature. This starting winding is also inductive nature, but we are keeping one capacitance in series to the starting winding. So we are making it as capacitance nature. So if capacitance nature means one will be inductive and other will be capacitance. So one will be inductive means one will be lagging with voltage, and this one is capacitance. This will be leading with voltage. So that there exists a lot of phase difference. See here. See the phasor diagram in 36.12 figure. This is the voltage. This is the reference vector, default reference vector. So I am telling that main winding is of inductive nature. So current will be lagging. See here, this is the main winding current. Current will be lagging. And starting winding, actually starting winding is also inductive nature. So what happens if the inductive nature means it should also lag the V. Lagging means it should be located downwards the V. But if it is located in the downwards, as in before split phase motor, see here, I am showing you the before split phase motor. See here, starting current is also inductive nature, main current is also inductive nature, right? So they both lie under V. They both lie under V. So what is the phase difference? It is just alpha. Okay, so both are lying under the voltage. So there exists only a small phase difference alpha. So if I able to draw the current line above V, if I am able to draw the current line above V, what happens? The phase difference increases. So for making the current above V, what I should take? I should take a capacitive nature. So to make it as capacitive nature, as I am taking here resistance, for what I am taking here resistance? To attain resistive nature. Resistive nature means I will be in phase with V. So as I am taking resistive nature, but it is having some sort of inductive nature. So it is not acting purely as a resistance, but it is acting some part of it is acting resistance and other part inductance. So it is not purely in phase with V. Because of some inductiveness in the nature, it is somewhat lagging to V. Okay, so because it is having resistance, it is somewhat nearer to V. You got the point? Resistive means what happens? See here, resistive means what the phasor diagram look like. If V is like there, R will also be, for R, I will also be in phase. Okay, so I am taking here somewhat resistive nature and somewhat inductive nature. So it is not neither in phase or completely lagging. It is in between. It is nearer to the voltage and not far away to the voltage as inductive nature. So when you compare the IM, when you take the main winding, it is purely of inductive nature. So it is completely lagging. It is completely lagging with V. Okay, so it is somewhat far distance from V. Okay, so as IS is somewhat having the properties of resistance in the inductance, it is not far away from V. It is near to V because it is having R and both R and L nature. So what is the meaning of putting R here? To make the phase difference. If you do not put the R here, what happens? IS will also be located like here, nearer to IM, right? Depending upon the inductive nature, IS will also be located somewhere here. As we are putting R here, what happens? It will be approaching the in phase. It will be approaching the in phase nature. So it is nearer to the V. So same as this, I am here putting C. So if I put C, what happens? I will be leading to V. So I will be like this, leading to V. So there exists a lot of phase difference between IS and IM. IM is here, IS is here. If I take resistance, phasor diagram will be nearer to V. If I take inductance, phasor diagram will be far away from V, lagging. If I take capacitance, the phasor diagram of IS will be leading to V. So IS. So what happens? Here this is of inductive nature and IS is of capacitive nature. So there exists a lot of phase difference. This phase difference produces the EMF in the rotor. Okay, and this is the switch. In order to remove the starting resistance and capacitance, after the induction motor runs to the normal position, I am using this switch. Okay, so after the motor attains 40 to 80%, 40 to 50% of the normal speed as it gains, we can remove the switch here, because from that time no need of starting resistance. What is our main aim? We have to start the induction motor. So in order to start the induction motor, we have to on the switch at the time of starting. After the machine attains 40 to 50% of the normal speed, we can remove the capacitance and we can remove the starting winding by opening the switch. Okay, and this capacitor, what we are discussing it is extremely designed for short duty services only. Okay, and it should not be used more than 20 operations per hour. and each operation delay time should be at least 3 seconds, more than 3 seconds. Okay, so see here, you can see the phasor diagram, how it is drawn. How it is drawn? This is the voltage reference vector, and capacitor starting winding will be capacitor. Because of capacitor, the current is leading, and main winding, it is purely of inductive nature, so it is lagging, not pure inductive nature. Not pure means what? It is less than 90. Actually, pure inductive nature means it should be at 90 degrees. I should be 90 degrees to V, but it is not purely inductive nature, so it is lagging to somewhat angle phi to the voltage. Okay, and resultant vector, is resultant, and im and is, adding both you will get I. This is the resultant vector. So you can see the actual motor. So this is the motor yoke. This is the running resistance, that means main winding or running resistance. It is this running winding. This running winding will be present at the time of normal running of induction machine. So I can call the main winding as running winding, right? So at the starting winding means we can remove it after the starting of machine. So it is present at the time of starting. That's why we are calling it as starting resistance. Okay, so see here, we can see that the capacitance is externally connected here. Okay, we see that the capacitance can also be connected externally. So this is the arrangement. If you see the torque diagram, see, I will show you the capacitor start, capacitor run motor. So externally we can see the capacitance here. So this capacitance is generally of electrolytic type. Okay, so here under something here you can see the capacitor. This is the actual seeing actual image of the motor. Capacitor start, capacitor run motor, or capacitor run motor. Okay, so if you see the torque diagrams here, this is the performance curve of the capacitor start run motor. So if you observe that the torque developed by the split phase motor, it is proportional to the sine of the angle between IS and IM. Okay, so this angle will be increasing from 30 to 80 degrees. It is increasing from starting torque to nearly twice the value developed by the standard split phase induction motor. And by improving the torque characteristics of the split phase motor, we can have this capacitor start run motor torque waves, because it is the improved version of split phase motors. So here, what is the improvement? Main improvement we have made other than the split phase motors are, we are increasing the starting torque to a value as high as 350 to 450%. Okay, these are the two types of single phase motors where second phase is added by using a resistance split phase machine. By using a capacitance, it is called as capacitor start induction run motors. Now we will see the equivalent circuit of a single phase inductive motor without core losses and with core losses. Okay, so after that you will see the types of capacitor start induction run motors. See here, this is the equivalent circuit of a single phase induction motor without core losses. I am assuming the core losses also. Without core losses. I am omitting the core losses and I am assuming the equivalent circuit. After that, I will say you with core losses also. So see here, it consists of two motors, right? A single phase motor. It looks as it contains two motors, this one and this one. Having a common stator winding. This is stator winding, this is rotor windings. This is stator winding. Okay, and you will see that these rotors are revolving in opposite directions. Both are in opposite directions. So the equivalent circuit is based upon the double field revolving theory. Okay, I have drawn this equivalent circuit depending upon the double field revolving theory. So here we are taking a single phase in motor. It is assumed to be made up of one stator winding. This is one stator winding and two imaginary rotors, 1 and 2. These are two imaginary rotors we are taking. So what is the stator impedance? R1 plus J into X1, that is Z1. Z1 is the stator impedance and the impedance of each rotor. What is the impedance of each rotor? Each rotor is, first one impedance is R2 plus JX2. That is ZF. R2 plus JX2. That is ZB. Okay, so this R2 and X2, these represent half the actual rotor values in stator terms, because it is divided into, as the rotor is divided into two, only R2 and X2 will be representing only half the actual rotor values in the stator terms. Okay, so as we are neglecting here the core losses, nothing but iron losses we are neglecting. The exciting branch is consisting of exciting reactance only. Okay, so this is the exciting branch. This is consisting of only exciting reactance because we are neglecting the core losses. Okay, and here also each rotor is assigned half the magnetization reactance. Okay, that means XM means half the actual reactance. So first I am making it as forward running and this is backward running, because both are in reverse direction. Okay, so for the forward impedance we are making the formula as the forward impedance ZF is equal to JXM R2 by S plus JX2 divided by R2 by S plus J into XM plus X2. This is the forward impedance, and the forward backward impedance is J into XM by R2, J into XM into R2 by 2 minus X plus J into X2 divided by R2 by 2 minus S plus J into XM plus X2. These are the impedances of forward and backward motors running. Okay. Next, we will see the equivalent circuit with core losses. This is without core losses. I am not considering the iron losses. And if I consider the iron loss, see here, this is the equivalent circuit with core losses. Okay, so see here. So here the core losses are represented by a equivalent resistance. Okay, this resistance is connected either in parallel or in series with the magnetic reactance. Here I am taking parallel with this magnetization with this magnetizing reactance XM. I am taking parallel the core loss RC. Okay, so if you consider under running conditions, this VF is high and VB will be correspondingly low value. So most of the iron losses will be taking place in the forward motoring only. So this most of the iron places will be consisting of more common stator and forward running rotor. This is the common stator and this one forward running rotor. So most iron losses will be comprising of common stator and this rotor, not this rotor. This is backward running rotor. This is forward running rotor. Okay, so core losses will be more comprising in common stator and forward running rotor. So half value of core loss will be, equivalent resistance will be VF by ISC. RC value is VF by IW. VF by IW. RC is equal to VF voltage, corresponding voltage by current, V by I, VF by IW. So RC, if you observe, it is connected in parallel. Okay. Next. Now we will see the types of capacitor start motors. So actually you are having 10 types of capacitor start motors. We will see them briefly one by one. Okay. First one, single voltage externally reversible type. Okay. So no diagrams for these first two. After that, from third one, there will be diagrams. Now they you will know about them clearly. So for the first one, you can take the diagram of this one, leaving the thermostat here, omitting the thermostat, deleting the thermostat. We can consider this complete diagram for the first one. So see here, single voltage externally reversible type. So externally reversible means from outside we can reverse. How? In this motor, 4 LEDs are brought outside into housings. Totally 4 LEDs are brought outside. So out of 4 LEDs, 2 will be from the main winding and 2 will be from the starting winding. Okay, so these, for reversible process, these 4 LEDs are necessary. Because if they do not be brought out, how can we reverse externally? So that's why we have to bring the LEDs, last terminals, outside. So as usual, from the starting, internally the starting winding is connected in series with the electrolytic capacitor. The starting winding is connected to the capacitor. See here, the starting winding is connected in series to the capacitor. And a centrifugal switch is between the capacitor and the starting winding. So the direction of motor, how we can easily reverse the direction of motor? If you reverse the starting winding LEDs with respect to the running winding LEDs, we can easily reverse the motor rotation of the, we can reverse the direction of rotation of the motor. Okay, next, single voltage non-reversible type, second one. What is single voltage non-reversible type? That means it is not possible to, there is no possibility of reversing the direction of the motor. So in this case, the starting winding LEDs are connected internally to the LEDs of the running winding. Okay, they are not brought out, they are internally connected. Starting winding LEDs are connected internally to the main winding LEDs. So there are only 2 LEDs brought out, positive and negative. So obviously we cannot reverse the direction of rotation unless the motor is taken apart and it leads to the starting winding reversal. Okay, next, third one, single voltage reversible with thermostat type. Single voltage reversible with thermostat type. Thermostat means where we are using these thermostats regularly in household applications. So if you take the iron box, you can see the thermostat switch. Whenever the power switch is on, it will be on. And after it attains the permissible value of heat, it is directly off. Automatically off. That is thermostat. As the heat increases, the switch will be opened. So same application is here used. So for our single phase motor, making as a dual phase motor by capacitor, by adding capacitor and a starting winding, for this circuit I am extra adding a thermostat. So across all the motors, we can see many motors are fitted with this device. What is it called? Thermostat. So it provides the protection against overloads, overheating, and short circuits. Okay, so what is this thermostat means? It is nothing but a bimetallic element that will be connected in series with the motor. Okay, and it is mounted on the outside of the motor. Mainly, it is oftenly mounted on the outside of the motor. Here you can show you can see the wiring diagram of capacitor start motor fitted with the protective device. So the wiring diagram here we can see that when due to some reasons, if the excessive current will be flown through the motor, it produces abnormal heating of the bimetallic strip. So when the bimetallic strip is heated, what happens? Because of the high values of currents, what happens if the bimetallic strip will be overly heated? So this bimetallic strip, when overly heated, it bends and opens the contact points, thus that will be disconnecting the motor from the supply lines. Okay, so this bimetallic strip, what happens? It bends and it opens the contact points. So when it opens the contact points, it disconnects the motor from the supply lines. Again, when the thermostat cools to a particular point, it automatically closes the contacts. Okay, so in this case of capacitor start motors, these are generally used in refrigerators. Generally, a terminal block is attached to the motor. So if it is used in refrigerators, it is a terminal block is attached in the motors. 1 minute. I'm taking the attendance. Okay. It is attached at back of the motor. So 3 out of 4 blocks marked as TTL. I will show you in next figure in next class. These markings. These are connected to the supplies. Okay.